Hey everybody, Professor Hanlon here. I want to talk today about creating the bow grip on the German bow. Now I'm not a German bow performer, but I can play German bow and of course teach German bow. I have a few students here at Fredonia in the studio. And so I think it's always great to really have some experience if you are going to pursue German bow, taking lessons with someone that's a full-time German bow performer. But I thought I'd just give a quick overview rather, of setting up the German bow hold for those of you who may be teaching privately or teaching in public schools and wouldn't necessarily need to perform it, but at least can set it up, okay? So with the French bow and the German bow, it's really important that the right arm be relaxed and sort of moving in this pendulum-like motion, okay, back and forth. And of course you can see here that as I bring my upper arm in, I sort of complete the up bow stroke with the forearm, and actually the same thing in the other direction on the down bow stroke. I lengthen out the arm. And what that all allows is basically so that the bow can continue to move across the strings, more or less perpendicular to the strings, which of course helps us get good sound, etc. So anyway, back to the German bow. There's some really simple ways to think about this, which is hold it like a pencil, of course, and then just allow your pinky to sit on the bottom of the frog, and you're done. I'm going to just go through it a little bit more detailed way than that, but that's just sort of a nice thought, at least for these three fingers, to think of holding it like a pencil, right? So I always like to actually start, this is a Diana Gannett trick, my teacher from Michigan, to just start with the German bow hanging towards the floor at your side. As you can see, I'm going to stand on my tiptoes here so you can see that it's just pointing towards the floor, okay? And then again, I mentioned this if you watched my left hand video, but Paul Ellison, wonderful teacher from Rice University, regarding the hands and setups, etc., always says that the hands should look like the hands when you play the bass, and I love that. So if we imagine that we're gripping the bow very lightly with a relaxed sense in the right hand, that should work out for you pretty well starting down here. And then if we want to be really specific about how we think about it up here, if you look closely, this bow has sort of flat faces on it, right? I believe it's an octagon around, right? And so I like to think that the thumb is on the top flat face, the first finger is on the sort of diagonal face, facing up and to the side, and then of course the second finger is on the side and also on the side of the frog at the top. And then the tricky one is the pinky, to get the pinky to come around in a U shape like this, and then connect with this metal bit. This is called the ferrule. Connect with the metal bit of the frog right there, okay? And then the third finger is just kind of along for the ride, okay? And that's really how you want to set it up, just like that, okay? Again, I think it's important with either bow grip to not be squeezing the bow too hard. You can see when I squeeze that the ends of my fingers turn white, and that can be a good gauge to check with students to find out if they're gripping the bow too hard. If the fingers are turning white, you can really be sure they're really over squeezing it, right? So that's kind of the main thought there. I think the only other thing to think about, and perhaps some of the reason for this, and a little bit of the reason for that U-shaped pinky, is that you want to be able to move back and forth and let the shock absorbing quality and the looseness of the fingers going back and forth help with smoothness of bow changes and strokes and things like that. So, okay? So again, I recommend if you are pursuing German bow to certainly study with someone that's a German bow performer, and at least from time to time to get some input. But I think, again, I hope this was helpful to you for just setting up the German bow hold, okay? All right, thank you very much. You can find my email on the Fredonia website. If you have any further questions, feel free to let me know. Take care.